that love that we have for our children, the love that possibly your own mother gave to you and mother of your mother, right? Got you to this place, educated you, possibly made mistakes, unfortunately made mistakes, let's say it that way. But we're here and we either survive and get stronger, or we struggle with a lot of trauma that we need to heal. Happy early birthday, Miss Michelle. I know you're losing your voice.
Wow, this is better. I have not even had a voice since Sunday. We went to Big Bear for Father's Day and we went fishing. John decided that we needed to sleep with the door open, and it was like 40 degrees. Then I wake up and I can't talk. Nothing's coming out. But anyway, we still went fishing. It was a great Father's Day. The kids had a ton of fun. This is the best I've had since Sunday.
Taisha.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, I know it's not just Father's Day, it's probably every day, but I feel like when you've lost a child, that's not easy. So I was thinking about you guys.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So we normally go to the beach or whatever, but this year we didn't. So Saturday, I took him, his friend Brandon has a new restaurant in our area. It's a pizza spot. I surprised him and took him there. We went to the Riverwalk to be close to some type of water, relaxed. Sunday, I went to church with my dad to spend time with him. I know he wanted that time alone. So I have to pick and choose when I'm on him and when I need to give him space. So still learning when and how. I gave him that space on Sunday and he went to play football. So at his big age, he still go outside and play football. So he went, they played football. I'm glad they did flag this time because they normally play backyard football with no equipment and all of this stuff. Like, y'all guys are upper 30s, 40s, and y'all are still out there. God bless y'all soul. But I knew he needed that, that release. So, yeah, I'm almost certain he had plenty of moments. I asked him, like, how you doing? And he was just like, I'm not really sure. So, thank you. Thank you for thinking of
That's his first Father's Day, right? Without his
No.
son.
So, this is the first full year. Last year is when he actually passed, which was March. So, that June.
So raw.
Tough.
That's so new.
And I don't think I would ever be able to. But on a good note, Taisha, he has such wonderful support from you as his wife. And it's such a blessing. I think we take all of these things for granted when we're in the thick of it. We really do appreciate every little gesture our close relatives and our close people or circle, right, does for us. So that's amazing that you are so in tune with giving him space. I'm the kind of person that also needs space when I'm in a rough spot, and I don't call my friends. I completely need to retreat. These are things that I think are so important around grief. But I really missed you girls. We're doing episodes every 2 weeks, FYI, and we're slowing down a little bit because we've hit the second season on the mom panel. It has been such a ride. I asked my daughter to listen to one of the funniest episodes we've had, and she said she couldn't stop laughing. She's Gen Z, so I take that as a compliment, right? She's like, your friends are hilarious. They're good people. So I was like, yeah, I know. And I think that the mom panel has a special place in my heart because of you ladies being so amazing and awesome, and our energy together. I feel you guys have been friends for so long, and it's been less than a year. So I honestly just have to bring that up because in all of this, We have just accelerated so much in our work together, and it's become such a journey in such a small amount of time. And I don't know if you guys can feel the energy and the momentum. It doesn't really feel it on paper like it is super going places that are extraordinary, but energetically, I feel like it is. I don't know how to explain that. If you go on our Instagram, we have a total of 12 followers, you guys. 12 followers. I love that because I'm like, this is hilarious. I don't think I've ever had this amount of followers on any platform, which is to me so hysterical because sometimes we calculate the situation by numbers. Going back to the 12 followers, I feel like it's 12 of 1,200, 12 of 12,000 in terms of energetically of what I feel. And then the other feedback is I had a friend of mine who just went on to have a conversation with me on social media, and he's like, I have an eye on you and I see what you're doing and it's going good. I don't know how he would be able to tell that. Only just a confirmation from the universe that it's going places and it's doing the thing. So again, very energetically, I know that that's very woo-woo for some people, but I am an energies person, and I can tell you have a really good feeling about the mom panel really just being a spot for mamas and for all kinds of parents. It doesn't have to be a mom. I have a friend who tunes in, and she is not a mom. She will aspire to be, but she's learning from us. And it's so cute because shout out to my friend Leah. She tunes in and she's like, the other day, I'm like, I have all these complaints about my baby. And she's like, but remember what Jill said.
Love it.
That was hysterical, you guys. I would have wanted that recorded. The biggest smile on my face. I have to say, it's just been so fun with you ladies. By the way, this is an open invite. Go be the 13th follower on our IG. Our IG handle is _mom_panel. And you will find our weekly updates of behind the scenes of the mom panel. Jill has Tuesdays, Taisha has Thursdays. I have Mondays. They are just crazy stay-at-home Mondays that I have to figure out because I'm not a social media person. But I'm looking at Jill and how they're doing it. Michelle has Wednesdays, but Michelle has a full-time job. So sometimes Michelle can't.
My fan, because I had surgery this morning and then I don't have enough time to get home. So my van is going to be my place from now on. We'll see.
I know,
Bye.
Michelle. I know.
And-
she is a hustler, you guys. Tell me, Michelle, what were you going to say? Girl?
You know, the life of a full-time working mom trying to have a podcast on the side. Sometimes last week or the week before, I was taking pictures in the operating room with my mask and hat on. This is probably all that I can do on a Wednesday because this is literally all I do on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. I will try to post more. I will try.
No, not at all. We understand, and that is real life, right? Real life is that you can't always show up on a Wednesday. Social media will have to wait sometimes because you're busy being a mom, even if you don't post. So, and then Taisha, I want to give you the mic about Petals of Love. Girlfriend, you take it away.
Sure. So before we get into Petals of Love, Michelle, you are not trying, you are doing. And
That's
you
right.
are doing an amazing job in doing so. And I love the hair color, by the way. It is popping tea, honey. It is popping soft. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes, and yes. I love it.
I got it done this week for my
I
birthday.
love
And I miss my super long hair. I had hair down to my butt until I went blonde, and then it destroyed my hair. So now I'm thinking about getting extensions because I don't feel girly enough with shorter hair. But yes, she changed the color and I kind of like it. So thank you for bringing that up.
I like
It looks great.
It complements you really well. So,
Yeah.
Petals of Love. If I'm looking to the right, my husband had called me like 3 times. I have no idea what he wants, and he knows I'm recording, so my nerves just went limp.
No worries. If you have to get it,
Yeah, so mute my mic and check on the hubby.
you do that. You do that. The one thing I wanted to talk about Petals of Love is that all four of us will be in this anthology, you guys. That was unexpected. That was unexpected. I'll tell you quickly the story. Miss Taisha was already trying to do this book way before the podcast was even a thing. Probably about a couple months into it, she's like, hey, ladies, we're going to do an anthology. You want to be part of it? At the time, I had a baby that was very active. I didn't have time for even getting up in the morning and having breakfast. It was tough. And as much as it was one of my dreams to be part of a book, that unspoken, because I had never said that to anybody, it was also something that I had to come to my senses and no, and give up on that because I just didn't think I had the time. Then Michelle asked me to read her chapter of the book. And my gosh, I was so inspired, Michelle. So inspired by your story. Amazing. And I thought it was so beautiful that I was like, you know what? Michelle has full-time and a half work. She did it, man. She's doing the thing. It inspired me. And I have to tell you, Michelle, I was like, I can do this too. So I was like, Taisha, do you still have space? Do you still have room? And she's like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But it's
Love
crunch
it.
time. You need to, get going. So then I'm like, okay, no. It's Michelle, Taisha, and me. Jill has to be part of this for sure. And so I'm like, Taisha, call Miss Jill. And so we are all part of this amazing anthology.
I'm not dissimilar from you, but I guess like for my own reasons, I also, when Taisha first mentioned, I was like, that sounds amazing. But I felt like my plate is so full. I don't know how I can do one more thing right now between work and my daughter and now another baby. We're moving and there's just a lot. But when I actually wrote it, I've been featured in books before. I love writing. What was really interesting and unique, I think, for me regarding this book was I've never really reflected. I do a lot of reflection on motherhood all the time. Like, I'm very introspective about it. I talk about it on my social media. I've thought about it before, but I never really sat down and gathered my thoughts in that way. I never really connected it to my story of my first pregnancy. My first pregnancy was peak pandemic. I found out I was pregnant with my daughter 2 days before New York City shut down as the epicenter of the pandemic. I didn't realize how much that experience colored motherhood for me, especially in the beginning. Matt and I are planners. We had been dating a certain amount of time before we got engaged. We were engaged a certain amount of time before we got married. We were married a certain amount of time. And then when the time was right, we started to plan for our family. Like, that is like my type A-ness at its best, right? Like, it was like, it's just like so. And what we did not, I think this is like how my chapter starts. I was like, what I did not plan for was a worldwide pandemic. There was no universe where that was on my radar for what our life was going to be. It made me a lot stronger and more resilient. I went through so much of my pregnancy alone. Not only that we didn't have a village, but my own husband couldn't come to anything. When things went wrong during my pregnancy, I sat in that doctor's office by myself praying. He would sit in the car and like be on the phone on speaker, listening to what the doctor said, like when I was spotting at one point, or just different things that come up. So reflecting on it in that way, I realized how much that informed me as a mom and helped me as a very type A person recognize that I had the ultimate situation I couldn't control when I was pregnant, which then helped me in motherhood because like, you do all the best you can, but that's a human being. It doesn't matter if you input all the right things. They are their own person. Your job is not for it to be perfect. And also for me to recognize there's so much we can't control in the world. What we can control at home is the environment we create. We can control the connection, the love, the kindness, the empathy. But I think it helped me control what I could and let go of what I couldn't. And I never really realized how much that experience has informed what my journey has been in motherhood. So kind of gathering my thoughts in this way and really reflecting on it, I was like, whoa, I never really put those pieces together. I felt like I learned a lot about myself. And now going into this pregnancy, which could not be, I mean, I'm halfway through my pregnancy. It could not be more different than the last one. It's just not. I'm sure some of that is second child, but a lot of it was such an extreme set of circumstances my first time around. This is just so different. So it was cool kind of reflecting on that too, and recognizing the pregnancy is so different and the parenting journey will be so different because they're two different kids. I don't know who this little person is who's moving a lot right now as I talk about her. But, I don't know what that's going to be. Kind of realizing that too. Like, even when you come into this and you've done this before, whether I was a teacher and then I came in with that knowledge with my first child and it's still like, totally knocks you off your feet. Now I've been through it as a mom and I'm coming into it with that, but I'm not going to know what it is to raise this baby, right? Or like raise multiple babies. So yeah, it just was so much reflection. And once I started, it kind of poured out of me. At first I was like, how am I going to find the time? It actually went so fast. I told Taisha when I thought I could get it to her, it ended up being sooner because I did it and it just was like flying. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And we're going to showcase some videos as well, Taisha. How's all this coming out and about? You're on mute, by the way. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes. So for starters, I want to say first off, thank y'all so much for saying yes. I know each of you have so much going on and y'all like super, super busy, but to say yes to be a part of this project was like chef kisses, okay? So there are 26, is it 26? 25 of 26 different women in this book. And they are literally from around the world. We have Canada, along with another young lady. We also have a young lady in the UK. She's in Scotland. So to see the different women come together to share their story, like their motherhood journey. Like everybody may look at motherhood as like this cookie cutter type thing, but no, like everybody's journey is different. Even, there are a few teen moms, but all of our teen mom stories look different. People wanting kids, but couldn't have them, so they had to go through the IVF process. Mothers who didn't want kids at all, it ended up with kids. They wanted their career more than they wanted kids. So seeing the different stories, the mothers that was homeless, the military moms, it was so much. I had to read them firsthand, and I'm just like,
oh my goodness.
And onions. Definitely beautiful. And it's like, God, I thank you. These ladies trust me with a very intimate part of them to be able to put it together, to share it with the world. So I am done with the editing phase. I met with the editor yesterday. She's done editing all of what needed to be edited. Now the foreword is being done. And after the foreword is being done, I will be uploading so we can go ahead and get our books to sell on July 26th, y'all. That's the date. I haven't released it to the public yet. I will be releasing it today. July 26th is a Saturday. That's when the book will be available for the public to buy, and it comes directly to them. Right now, pre-sales are available. So you can get your pre-sales. But I'm excited. Yeah. I'm like really, really excited from this. I know it's going to be a retreat that's going to come out of this. There are going to be multiple editions of this book.
Like Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Wow.
Do you remember those books?
So
yeah.
So that's my inspiration. I said it in a couple of interviews and even on my inside of the book, I think. So as a teen mom, before I became a teen mom, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul was my jam, baby. I'm talking about all of the books. And when I got pregnant, I was like, dang, they don't have one for us. So I had always said, I am going to write a book similar, but for teen moms. And as I grew as a mom, I knew there was more to motherhood than just being a teen mom. So I'm a empty nester, a teen mom, a grieving mom, single mom, married mom. So it's so many different pieces of motherhood that I've touched at only now 34. So being able to put everybody in one pot because we are moms and then do different projects according, like I'm gonna even have one for complex kids. So it's literally going to be different editions. So they're able to expand more on that specific topic versus just the overall book. So this one right here is history. We made history, y'all. Y'all are part of history.
Yay!
We are the first edition. So I'm really excited.
I just want to tell the listeners the type of information Taisha is posting is incredible. You guys have to go to the IG handle. What would that be, Taisha?
Petals of Love.
But I think you have like a little underscore after it.
Let me find it, baby cakes. Because I don't know.
And then also she's including introductions to every co-author of these books. So if you guys are curious to find the different types of people, who they are, their backgrounds, she's posting all of that on social media. She's also going to post videos that give you a glimpse of each author. She's doing so much work, you guys, to go behind the scenes and make it fun to get to know these women, these amazing women. And I also want to add why this is so important. And I don't know if you guys feel this, but I do feel it in that it's really hard to become a parent. And I think a lot of the younger generation is so scared of being moms.
It is for good reason.
And for good reason, it's not easy. But these stories, may they be a place of inspiration for you. May they be a place where nothing is impossible. May they be a place of hope where you can start and look at other women going through similar situations, maybe harder situations than you, and still that power of motherhood, that love that we have for our children, the love that possibly your own mother gave to you and mother of your mother, right? Got you to this place, educated you, possibly made mistakes, unfortunately made mistakes, let's say it that way. But we're here and we either survive and get stronger or we struggle with a lot of trauma that we need to heal. And all of that is possible with the many stories that we can reflect on and look at as an example of truth and hope and bravery and courage. It doesn't have to be a bad ending or a terrible ending all the time. So that for me is what makes Petals of Love just so special, because there was a time where as a mom, I would have wanted to hear more stories of struggle because I was a struggling single parent. And I wanted something to tell me, look, you're not alone, something like a book or even a person, real people, right? So someone to go and follow and kind of follow their journey and hear their story. And now you have it through all these amazing women. So Taisha, I congratulate you for carrying on the task of this wonderful anthology, first version of many. I will be as supportive as possible, telling people about your subsequent anthologies. And
Thank you. Thank you.
And Michelle, I know you don't have much of a voice, of course, but I
Have you noticed that I'm super quiet today? I'm not talking. Yes, that's right.
no, Michelle's story is something that I won't go. Michelle, you can definitely talk about it, but I wanted to also talk about how it inspired me because you went through something that I'm not sure is so common, but I could be wrong, which is you're experiencing motherhood on another complex level that is like not only difficult, in terms of pregnancy and being a first time mom, but also your position in life is such that you're away from family. It's just a long list of things that make you kind of unique in your own way. Do you want to talk about briefly like anything?
Sure. You know, it was very interesting trying to put all of this in words. After I had Drake, I kept a journal for him and I would write to him every day. I went through some of that stuff and it prompted me to go through all the pictures also. And so trying to look and see like when he was a baby, I mean, you if you look at a picture of Drake when he was a baby, his whole entire head fit into my palm. You look at those things and you look at how it was to have such a tiny premature baby and learning to become a mother in the NICU. It was gut-wrenching to think that you were going home, you just delivered a child, but you got to go home and leave your child behind. And so those were very dark nights. Postpartum happened. And then the complexities started. And so, searching for what did I want people to understand and get out of my story? And it was really truly about resilience because of everything that I went through, and especially for Drake, right? I mean, this kiddo, the things that he does these days, we have both grown. We have both gone through things, but this kid goes to speech therapy 3 or 4 times a week. Every once in a while, he'll say, I don't want to go. And then he throws his fits. And I understand that. The poor kid is in therapy 3 times a week, but he has done so well. And I hope that I have inspired him by the things that I do for him to do what he does. And so it was interesting to reflect also on my superpower and Drake's superpower. It made me cry. I went through the pictures and trying to put it all into words, but
I love that.
actually, I know Taisha told us that it needed to stay within a parameter of words.
That was so hard. Oh my God, that was hard. What was I thinking? That was hard.
I was like, I had so much more. And I'll be honest, I had to go to ChatGPT and be like, what are the main topics here that I need to answer and talk about? Because I had so much more to say and so much more to write. So anyway, that was the hardest part of writing this, was like keeping it to a certain amount of words.
Same thing with me, I actually talk about, what do I talk about mostly? Because I talk about a lot of things, but I think I mostly talk about being the picture perfect relationship. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, I had this amazing husband with amazing now number 2 child on the way. And everybody's like, oh, they're so awesome and amazing, and they're so young. And it's like picture perfect. We're an amazing Christian family with money in the bank and all the things that you think are perfect. By the way, all of that was not something that I said. It was something that was said to me. So it was things like, oh my gosh, Jackie, like you have this and you have that and you guys are doing so good, right? And you're a Christian family, you're such a model family, and how that all went to shambles and how that broke my entire Christian journey, how it was a rock in my faith, a boulder, if you will. So, I do mention certain things in there, things that I don't think I've ever said out loud. It's the first time I was very vulnerable to the world. And I did it knowing that it's a generational cycle that I have to break in the women of my family. And I hope that I am the first woman to try to break that cycle of continuous domestic abuse and trauma. Hopefully, in our culture, this stops one day because it is so normal and accepted. I see all these amazing Latina women that are faithful till the end, like my grandmother was. They deserve so much more. You deserve so much more. And you can and you will have so much more if you just know how to put you first for your children and for the future of your children's children. You have to be that person to break the cycle. For those reasons, I was just a hot mess writing my part, and it's gonna continue. It's inspired me to write my whole story, which if I did, you guys, it is an entire novel. I'm sure you will be like, whoa, by the end of it. So crazy, but I think that it's so worth it to be able to have so many relatable women in this anthology. You guys, I'm gonna pause it real quick. My laptop is unplugged and it's going to die. And I don't know why I did that. So let me pause. I'll be right back. Oh my God, Taisha, can I ask you that though? I'm so curious. And I love this platform because of the different cultures, and we will talk raw about that. There is no hiding that crap on this podcast. What do you guys think about? I could talk about Latinos and what we think about when we have other cultures wanting to be Latino, but what do you think about people I just learned about? These, I don't know how the word is escaping me. You guys have to try to help me out here, but it's I guess a way, a language or a intonation of the English language pertaining to a culture like an African American. The word, you guys, I just learned about this and how you switch when you're with your people and you talk eloquently when you're not with your people.
This is the thing. Some people in our culture, they're like, why are you talking white? And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not talking white. I'm just talking professional. I'm speaking the actual English language. Now, when I am comfortable, like I am very comfortable here, I have no reason to just be politically correct and enunciate every syllable and all of that stuff. That's just not who I am. Do I know how to? Absolutely. I know how. I can go and sit with the president, baby, and we can be on the phone and he'll think I'm somebody else. And when he see me, he'll be like, oh, yeah, that's talent, you know? It's just one of those great gifts. So even when I speak, even when I'm on different platforms and things of that nature, giving my country Southern dialect, I never try to polish it to make it look something that is not, because I want you to know me, because I'm real, I'm raw, I'm transparent. But I understand when to and when not to. I know how to read the room to see who can understand what I'm saying. Like Michelle, I know for a fact she don't understand a lot of stuff. And I think it's cool because she can read between the lines. She was like, okay, I think I know what that means. So and it's like, for me personally, I used to have a problem with, because I'm like, I am not acting white. And they be like, Taisha, you are, so my nickname is Nikki. So they be like, Nikki, you are the whitest black girl I know. And I'm like, what? Like, for real? Because I have a lot of blonde moments. And I'm out. And I just, so yeah.
You gotta go, Michelle?
No, I just keep getting messages from the operating room, but it's okay. I want to do one episode where, like, because there's so many politically correct ways of talking about people. And I honestly, and Taisha, I think one of the biggest reasons I don't understand is because when I came to the United States, my English I learned in Utah, in the middle of a bunch of Mormons, in the middle of a bunch of white people, right? So I did not have interaction with African Americans. I mean, talk about Brigham Young University. The only Black people there were the football players. And I'm not joking. That's how it was. Because they were there to play football. Were they Mormons? Probably not. My husband actually had a lot more interactions in Las Vegas than I have ever had, besides in Brazil. In Brazil, we're just a mix. So it's not like
Black
I don't
and white
look
and
at
all of
it.
that.
Yeah. There's no color. Yeah.
I like that. I don't know what's up with the United States. For us to be the melting pot, like it is too crazy. Like
I talk to a lot of people about discrimination, and everybody kind of asks me about, like, have you been because you are Brazilian? And ever since I got to the United States, I have not felt it. Maybe I was oblivious to it, or I just didn't let it bother me. I never thought of it as discrimination because I'm Brazilian. And I would just position myself in a way that, you know what? It doesn't matter if that's what it is. I don't care. And so you don't want to be around a Brazilian, don't be around me. I feel like the feeling of discrimination, where we are with racism in the United States, and how different and polarized it has gotten because of what is happening in the world. So sometimes
It's a topic. It really is a topic that needs to be discussed. It's blatant now.
I'm just glad this mom panel, like, we're extremely dope. We got a Brazilian baddie. We got a nice little Latina chica over here. We got a city girl. And we got a country girl. I don't think it can get any better than this.
I know. That's why we make for such fun episodes like the ones that we've had in the last little while. I would love to just have like one of these episodes just plain talking openly about this stuff, because I feel like sometimes, like I was saying, my husband, he wishes he was Black. Is that even a correct way of saying it? I don't know how to, like, I'm worried and I'm scared of sometimes using certain words.
We are coming to the end of the episode, but I do want to really just say, Michelle, thank you for bringing up all of what you just said, because it is a very important episode we should touch on. One, because we are all so different. We come from very different backgrounds. Two, we can actually speak for our own background, which is amazing. I come from a situation where my parents are from two different countries of Latin America, South and Central America. So I can speak upon even a broad spectrum of Latino communities. And it just is so important to realize why these differences are important to highlight, but also highlight them because they are actually something that people judge us for, and not in always a bad way, not in always good ways either, but they are something we can't be quiet about anymore because it's obvious now. More than ever, it is blatantly obvious that we have opinions about it. And, that doesn't matter. As long as, for me, at least in my experience, it's always been obvious. Unfortunately, for a lot of my Caucasian friends, they don't talk about it. And I wonder why. And maybe, Jill, maybe I'll put you on the spot. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But that's the question. Why don't we talk about it, right? Like, why is it such a taboo discussion? Because it doesn't have to be a negative conversation. It can be actually a very positive one where we celebrate how different we are. Why is there such fear around speaking on it? I have my personal opinions of why, but I'll share a little secret. in that episode that actually is a little controversial, that is very close to my family. So I would love this discussion and possibly our next episode. And that's a really good point. And I think politically right now, it feels like the right time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So thanks, Michelle. We have come to the end of our podcast episode, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. And hopefully you tell your friends about us, share to all the moms. We would love that. Maybe if we're super different, maybe one of us represents you in a different way that you didn't realize. So anyways, we love you. Until next time.